is Joe.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Double Trouble Features.
Woo!
Ooh, that had a nice little turn to it at the top. It got a, ooh, oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's 2025, guys. It's the first pod of the year. I'm feeling good today.
Is it really 2025, though? Or are we in the Matrix? And
I'm not going to lie. It's already like halfway through the month. And I feel like this has been going crazy. A lot of stuff happening around the world.
I have so much to do.
Yeah, I have
so much to do.
Yes.
I'm just like, it's like January and I'm like, wow, I have to do a lot of stuff this year.
Yeah, no, it's do you have any goals? Any New Year's resolutions?
I mean, my goal, I'm already doing better at it, which is posting TikToks and such for the podcast.
When they're going to get banned real quick.
I know, and we're about to get banned. But here's the thing. I saw this one that was like, I really relate to this. It's like, all right, I'm definitely jumping on the next one. I'm trying to get that Charlie D'Amelio 2020 money.
Oh my God. No, that's so true. It's like, if you're the first, because I downloaded this one app, and I don't even know what it's called, but it was just like, hey, this is like, if you don't want Meta and you don't want X or anything, here's the app. And I was just like, bet I'm getting on it. And I thought, I'm like, man, should I just start posting stuff just to start posting stuff? Like, just to get out there. And I made like a couple posts, and like I had like 60 likes, and I was just like, what is this? Like,
well, and I mean, that's like the first TikTok I ever posted was in 2020, and it was that I'm a Lamborghini, I'm a Hollywood star.
Oh,
like
yeah,
the Schitt's Creek thing. And I did that, 30,000 views.
Does it really?
And I did not keep up with it.
Does it really have 30,000 views? That's crazy.
But no followers. But
no followers.
But like it was crazy, and I'm just like annoyed that I didn't keep up with it and I didn't continue, because I was like, oh well, everyone's getting that these days because it was 2020.
Yeah.
And apparently that's not the case anymore. And hindsight's 2020. And
you could have been getting a little check.
That was when I was living in LA. I was already there.
You would have get. Hey, and the thing is, these little checks matter. You know, it's not that. Those millions and millions of dollars, but if I get like a cool 10 G's.
I was just trying to focus on my actual career, and that was the worst mistake I ever made.
Oh, man. I hope your boss watches this.
Yeah. She doesn't. I've asked. But no, what about you? Any goals? Anything?
Goals get pregnant. I feel like that's the big one this year. Last year was house. Year before that was marriage. Now it's pregnancy. Jesus, I feel like old now.
Yeah, you are old. See, I don't have any of that.
Yeah, I'm turning 30.
I don't have a marriage, a house, or a pregnancy on the way.
I'm turning 30 this year, so it's more like a make sure that I set up my 40s better than I set up my 30s.
Yeah.
That's kind of the real goal. And so, yeah, just fitness, get that shit right. As always. Put even more effort into this pod, and I'm running for a couple things locally, and just I think the big overarching goal is to put myself out there more.
Yeah, I like that.
I think I'm usually like, I am in friend groups and small, I am so okay to talk, I'm so okay to do this and be personable, but like putting myself out there for randos is a little bit more nerve-wracking. And so my goal this year is, just to be out there more.
Be out in these streets.
Also do things on my own more. My wife doesn't like some of the same interests I like. Yeah. And so it's just like, hey, if I really want to do something, actually go do it. Meet some people, whatever.
I agree. I think that's great advice. I've been doing that for years just because I've been single for years, and sometimes your friends are busy, and I still want to go see this show. I still want to go to that museum. I still want to do that thing. And so, I don't know, take yourself on a date. It's nice. And you don't have to worry about other people's schedules. You don't have to worry.
Ooh, I've never taken myself on a date.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great. And then the sex is amazing afterwards.
Bro. And like my wife, she's going to be out of town for a couple days. Maybe I'll take myself on a date during that time and have the best sex ever. Not with anybody else, with myself.
Yeah. No one can make me come like I can make me come.
Yes. But anyway,
movies.
Yeah, movies. So we got a great show for you guys. Promise you, we are going to be definitely on top of this podcast this year. And you know what? Hopefully get more subscribers, more likes, and just more laughs out of everybody. So let's start the vid.
Okay. So we talked about things that we're going to try and probably fail to do in 2025.
Love New Year's resolutions.
But one thing that we are going to do is go see these fucking movies.
Yeah, that's the thing. We are definitely going to see every fucking movie as much as possible. What movies are you excited for?
So I'm really excited for next year. However, I have noticed just by looking through it, you know, the sequels and requels and prequels and remakes, it's getting
Switching universes.
Yeah. It's getting a little bit much. So much so that one of them, I'm gonna put out an honorable mention there first. The Passion of the Christ Resurrection. I didn't know the Passion of the Christ needed a sequel, but apparently that's where we are.
I mean, if you think about it, Jesus did resurrect.
But yes, and I haven't. So I haven't watched. I haven't watched the Passion of Christ in a minute.
You haven't?
Not in a minute.
Okay,
like
okay.
Not since I was like 10.
You don't need to see it again.
Well, okay, but like, did he not resurrect in that one?
He did.
Okay, so we're just like going over those.
I think this one. Based on what the Hollywood Reporter said, like this is supposed to be based about hell.
Him going to hell, you know. Well, in the various creeds and such, there is a part where when Jesus died, he descended into hell, took the keys of hell, and he's now the arbiter of hell, and like all that.
Why?
Stuff. It's a very.
Why do I need a movie?
It's very based in Catholicism and like that kind of stuff, and like where. Yeah, I would love to know. So that's why it's an honorable mention. Can't wait to find out.
I think Netflix is also doing like a Jesus Christ animated movie.
Netflix has been doing a lot because they just did that like Mary musical or something, and it interesting.
They're trying to get the Christian vote. You know, they're trying to.
Yeah, and then it's sitting next to like Love and Death and Robots,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay,
and Too Hot to Handle. Sitting next to all that.
Yes. So I'm just very interested. I do like that they went the Passion of the Christ Resurrection because all I'm thinking of is like H2O Resurrection. Like there's so many movies where it's like
Jaws Resurrection.
Like, and I'm just like, guys, I understand, but like we could have chosen a different name that didn't make it sound like a Matrix movie.
Yeah, like Rebirth, like Jurassic Rebirth. Jurassic World Rebirth is coming out this year. So
yeah, it's just interesting. But no, the movies I'm actually excited to see. Number one is Superman coming out July 11th.
So I like that. That to me is my number one movie of this year because I am. It's not like, again, James Gunn said he's not doing like an origin story or all that crap.
Thank God.
Very, very happy about that. I love the Henry Cavill Man of Steel. That's actually like one of my favorite superhero movies. A little bit slow at the beginning, but after that, it's just a great, fantastic like actual movie. I love DC, like I do, and I just need this to go well. Like James Gunn, he's already said, he's like, if it doesn't have a script, we're not greenlighting the shit like the movie. We're not. That's why Batman got pushed back because he didn't have a script yet, and we're like, we're not going to do this movie date. So unfortunately, you got to wait a whole another year. Jesus Christ. But I think James Gunn kind of taking that approach should help. Now, can I take every movie being a James Gunn type of movie? I don't think I could. A lot of people are saying like that's like some of the testing. They said this is like Guardians of the Galaxy. Love Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't take 12 movies that are like the Guardians of the Galaxy though.
And that's interesting, but it's also interesting that they're kind of like hard rebooting. Like they're like
hard reboot.
Like, and we went all the way through the Justice League, even so much to the fact where one of their own characters who played Aquaman, Jason Momoa, is now playing Lobo in the Supergirl. And
great casting.
I mean, yeah, that's that's fantastic. But also, it just kind of is like, where is this going? I'm not sure, and that's what I'm nervous about. But it does look so good. And Superman and Batman and DC, I've always been Team DC. Like Marvel's great. I do love Marvel. X-Men, ride or die. Actually read comics when I was a kid, but like I read DC comics when I was a kid. And I wasn't into Iron Man. I wasn't into Avengers and all that.
No, see, the crazy thing is people don't realize Iron Man wasn't this big of a dude.
No.
Like, Iron Man was a C-list, like, dude until Robert Downey Jr. put him on the screen. And it's always been X-Men is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Or, let's be honest, Spider-Man's number one,
Yes.
X-Men's number two, and Fantastic Four is three.
Yeah.
Like, that's the hierarchy of all of Marvel. And we just haven't had Fantastic Four or X-Men because of the rights. We've had Spider-Man nonstop, which I can keep going and going. Oh, did you hear about Tom Holland?
I the only thing I've heard about, what you mean, the engagement?
Well, both him and Zendaya said.
Was that Men's Health interview that he did with those beautiful pictures? What you got? I'm following Tom Holland very closely right now. What are you referring to?
So Tom Holland said that like once he has a kid, he's done. Like he's like, once I have my child, I'm out.
He wants to be a stay-at-home dad while Zendaya goes out and makes that money.
No, but honestly, Zendaya also says she's done.
Oh,
they want to like just go into the darkness and never like appear again.
Well, hopefully they go the typical LA route, which is wait until you're 38.
Yes, hopefully. Because I'm like Marvel has to be like shitting their pants because they're like, we need to milk at least 3 to 4 more movies out of this kid.
That's a lot of Spider-Man movies.
We got to get at least 2 more Spider-Man movies. We got to get a couple Avenger movies. At least 4.
What I do find interesting about those, though, is like we started off at Peter Parker's like beginning.
Yeah.
And we've gotten like a few standalone movies, but in those standalone movies, it's been very Avengers influenced. Like Tony Stark's been there the whole time. He's been in Avengers, all this. Like this is not the typical Spider-Man story that we're used to, because we're used to poor kid in Brooklyn coming up, and like he struggles for a long time in his earlier period. That does not happen at all. He is adopted by Daddy Warbucks and everything's fine.
But now we're in the universe where everybody's forgot about him.
Oh, yeah. So we're about to see that. Yeah.
We're about to see.
I keep forgetting about their hard resets that they have to keep doing on themselves, which is why I'm excited for Superman.
But also why I'm excited for my next movie is Fantastic Four. I am super excited for this movie. I think so far, great cast. The way they have to introduce Doom, because let's be honest, I like the original Fox movies, the first 2. I thought they were, good, like decent movies. Shout out Chris Evans for showing back up in Deadpool.
That was hot.
But the last one with Michael J. Fox and oh my God, what's his other name? Forgot his name. Not Michael J. Fox. Michael B. Jordan. Sorry.
Okay. I was like,
sorry.
I was like, I don't know what movie he's talking about.
Yeah, he was. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that joke.
I was so.
But anyway, that was a god awful, like terrible movie.
No, it was bad. I don't know.
And so it's been years since we had a decent remake, and like I think it's finally time.
And again, I like where it's like I don't think it's starting off at the beginning, is it?
I don't think so.
Like, because I don't know, they just seem very forward with it. So it would just be.
I think like from all the marketing so far, it feels like this is a past thing and they jump to the future probably.
Fingers crossed.
Let's be honest, we're going to get a Super Bowl trailer. Like that's when you're going to premiere the trailer. Like
that's when we're going to start getting some details.
Like I will bet my house that we're going to get a trailer for the Super Bowl. There's no way we don't.
I also find it interesting just the casting announcements. Like they've talked about, of course, Dr. Doom, and they've talked about, Julia Garner playing Silver Surfer. I just find it interesting. Like, I feel like that could have been like a cool reveal in the movie. Like, I think announcing it ahead of time did them a disservice because I'm just expecting that now. And
I didn't need to know that Robert Downey Jr. showing up on screen when we're watching that would blow my mind.
It would make everyone lose their fucking minds. And I don't know. I feel like, but then again, I think that Marvel is also being like, please, we'll bring him back if you just keep watching our fucking movies.
What's another movie you're excited for?
Another movie that I'm excited about is The Conjuring: Last Rites.
Conjuring's is like one of the best scary movie series.
And I'm pretty sure that the last rites of it all is that this is the end,
yes.
which we all know it's not really the end. In about 5 years, they're going to reboot it and it's going to be whatever.
Facts. Or make a TV series out of it.
Or make a TV series out about it, whatever. But for as of right now, and so I'm expecting them to go like whole hog. I'm expecting them to really like get in there and give it the finality it deserves within this universe. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I really do feel like they're going to be doing that. If they don't, I'm going to be sad and very disappointed because I'm very excited for this movie.
Yeah, no, Conjuring is like, I would say my favorite scary movie because it's scary and just the story's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I like when you actually have a captivating story, I think it makes it scarier because like I'm actually focusing on the story and then all of a sudden crazy things happen. And then you're like, oh crap, like I'm jumping.
Because horror is always about the stakes.
Yes.
And when you're dealing with, especially within The Conjuring, you're dealing with children and adults who both don't understand what's happening. And that just raises those fucking stakes so much. And it's chef's kiss.
Yeah. Movie that I'm actually very excited for. It's called Sinners. This one is with Michael B. Jordan. I think he plays multiple roles. I think Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther, he's directing it. Being honest, I definitely think that this was a Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan role, but because of the shit, they had to just cut him. And Michael B. was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do both, like I guess. But it's a scary movie down south, which I love like the nuances of like adding more black culture into the scary genre. And so I'm very excited for this. Comes out April 19th. So
Southern Gothic horror is one of my favorite genres, and like movies like The Skeleton Key.
Yeah.
I just watched The Front Room and that was really good, and it has a lot of those aspects to it.
Again, I don't fuck with voodoo. Don't fuck with voodoo at all. Like I don't like, as you guys should know, I don't fuck with a lot of ghosts or anything like that. Voodoo is like top. Like,
see, I love New Orleans.
I love New Orleans.
I love the like.
Yeah.
So would you like even step into a shop like a hoodoo shop?
No.
Interesting, but that's
so good.
That's why I'm the white man in the room.
Yes.
It's like I was like, yeah, I'd step inside. I don't know if I'd touch anything.
Oh. Hands behind your freaking back, bro.
Hands in your pockets. Hands in your pockets.
It's like from that, I get like some parents tell their kids that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Don't you dare touch anything, or we're cursed forever. Just imagine that's your kid touched like some voodoo doll, and you're cursed for the rest of your lives.
I'm not gonna lie, I do think that about like my parents. I think that they touch, and I've told them this, and I said, I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if you have to carry a witch up a mountain and have her drink from the stream. Figure it out, because this is awful.
Can we just talk about how, like, to get rid of voodoo curses, it's always the most extreme, crazy thing you have to do?
Well, I mean, in their defense, the voodoo ritual usually does take a lot as well.
Yeah, that's true.
You got blood and semen flying everywhere. It's great.
Oh my God.
That's just from the movies, guys. I don't want us to.
We are not voodoo experts, please.
No. But I was like, but in hoodoo, that does happen.
And what's another movie you're excited for?
Again, another sequel.
Yeah.
But that's what's coming out this year. Don't blame me. And that is Avatar 3, Fire and Ash, coming out in December. Here's the thing. I love the Avatar movies. I love what James Cameron
get way
does
too
with
much
them.
hate.
I don't even understand the hate. Like, here's the thing for me, and with this is like, he is a weirdo, but he has a lot of vision, and he wants to push movies and film into further. If everyone had it the way they liked it, it would be even worse. It would still be the same aggregated content going through. And I do think that James Cameron is a director who does try to push those boundaries because he can, because he has his own money, he has his own shit, and people trust him.
Here, God, I wish I had this, but you just sparked. There was like a conversation of like what directors that can write the script and direct, if you just give them free reign, will get you $1 billion. And it's like a list of like only 3.
Yeah.
And it is Christopher Nolan. I forgot the other guy. And it's James Cameron. Mm-hmm. James Cameron will get you $1 billion and will make a successful movie.
Yeah.
And don't care what everybody else thinks about Avatars. I love the Avatar movies. Saw the original 4 or 5 times. I mean, in theaters. I saw the last one twice in theaters. Like, they're great movies.
And I mean, and that's the thing is like, I don't see 3D movies because it got really gimmicky. I will still go see these in 3D because that's like kind of the point. And he does build these immersive experience worlds. And it does.
If only we had a 4D movie theater.
Oh God, Kansas City, please. But no, it's just so interesting that he gets all this hate, but like they say, it's lonely at the top and heavy is the head that wears the crown. And he just pushes things technologically. Yes. I'm not going to say he's pushing storylines, he's doing all that, but just from a technical standpoint, he makes things more interesting and pushes the
most
technology.
Realistic water I've ever seen in my life.
And it took him years to figure it out.
They built brand new technology just for that.
And you're gonna sit there and be like, it doesn't look real. Shut the fuck up. Yeah,
because Little Mermaid looks so real. Yeah.
And also it's a movie. Like, okay, but no, I'm very excited for that. I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to. I love this world, and I love that he expands on it, and like he takes the time to walk through the world.
Yes,
and that's what I enjoy.
It does take time, and yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't care if you don't like 3-hour movies. If it's 3 hours and it's engaging, I'm going to watch it, and Avatar's engaging. So
take an Adderall and grow up. I don't.
Yeah. But what movies are you excited for? Do we miss any that are? We missed a lot, actually. There's a lot of movies coming out.
So many movies.
It's the last Mission Impossible. I'm actually very excited.
I'm excited too now because I just watched all of them.
Yes. So it's the last Fast and Furious. I think it's supposed to come out this year.
Well, here's my thing. Why in God's name would you make Fast X Part 2?
Did you watch Fast X?
Yes.
Terrible movie.
Well, I mean, they haven't been
terrible.
They haven't been good since Tokyo Drift.
No, okay.
4 and 5
are fantastic.
4 and 5 are pretty good. Once it got to like 6, 7, 8, and then Hobbs and Shaw.
I like 9. 9 was a good movie. Not peak, but like I thought 9 was good.
Was that the one with the nuclear bomb in the underneath the water?
Yes.
Yeah. See, but that's where I was also like,
why are we in space?
Yeah.
Fair.
Why does Charlize Theron have dreads? Or those
oh
weird
my
little,
God, yes.
But they were like those weird little like twisty dread. Anyway.
White people, can you please just stick to your own hair?
Yeah.
Just stick to your own hair and culture.
And I don't care if you're going to sit there and say, the Vikings did it. First of all, they probably didn't. And second of all, you're not a Viking. And you never were, and you never will be.
Please. Joe, quick question. Favorite kind of milk? What's your favorite kind of milk?
Chocolate.
Chocolate? You're a chocolate guy?
Chocolate whole.
No, you're not. You're not.
What do you mean?
Chocolate whole milk is your favorite kind of milk?
Yes.
Bro, that's so weird.
Like if I'm just
that's
drinking
so weird.
it?
You would if you okay, first.
Like if I'm just drinking it? Like out of a glass?
You choose whole milk?
Yes.
Why?
Because I like it thick.
Oh my ew. Disgusting, bro.
Are you being serious right now?
I'm being dead serious. Bro, if you're not 2%, I don't know who are you.
Well, first of all, I don't like drink milk.
I mean, I don't drink milk either, but if I had to choose some milk.
Yeah, chocolate whole.
Do you put whole milk in your cereal? Like when you drink cereal or eat cereal?
I don't really eat cereal like that.
But when you used to.
Well, no. You asked my favorite.
Your favorite's whole, bro. I can't get over that.
Well, and that's the thing. And that's why I asked. Do you mean like for drinking?
Yes, for drinking.
For like drinking a glass of milk. Yes, chocolate whole.
Bro, you are an animal.
I don't know why you're surprised about that.
It's
In what, like, I like it thick, creamy, and sweet.
oh Jesus. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. The reason why I talk about this is because of Nicole Kidman's stunt on the Golden Globes. She drank a whole glass of milk,
Which I didn't understand because I hadn't seen the movie.
Yes. And so it's based off the movie Babygirl,
Babygirl.
which we both saw with my wife, who didn't want to see it with just me. You're the weird one, not me.
Yeah, she sat in between us.
She did. Mm-hmm. At first, she wanted you to sit in between us.
She wanted, but then I was like, okay, that's taking it a little far.
Yes, it's like it's not that deep. It
was pretty deep. I don't know. He was really digging in there. He was digging in there, like from behind. Jesus. Anyway,
so what would you rate this movie?
I would give it a 6. I don't think it changed the world. I don't think it really did, and I really don't think it was that dirty. Like it was. They were very visceral sex scenes. I'll give you that, but like half of it was always blurred out. Like the second one of them started doing something, they would blur out and it would just focus on Nicole Kidman's face.
We saw her titties.
It saw her titties, which were beautiful.
Bro, she's skinny.
Lovely. She's always been skinny. She's always been skinny, but she looks incredible. And that's the thing. When she was like, "I'm not beautiful," I was like, "Shut the fuck up." Like,
bro, I understand, like, you know, some people have like body dysmorphia. Some people have like that internal thought that they're not pretty and they are. But it's just like, it's from a consumer standpoint, it's very hard for me to believe
that Nicole Kidman doesn't think she's sexy.
Yes, that like these famous people, actors, actresses don't believe that they're sexy.
Well, and they even called that out in the Barbie movie when Margot Robbie was like, "And I'm not pretty," and the like voiceover was like, "By the way, to all Hollywood studios, if you're trying to make this point, Margot Robbie wasn't the best choice."
No, and that was perfect. Almost a standing ovation for that.
But so with this movie, what it's about really is going into. You have the CEO. She's a woman. She's very like knows what she wants. She's a hard ass. She's built this company from the ground up, all about automation and all this stuff. And in walks a bunch of interns. And one of the interns chooses her to be his mentor. She didn't even know she was in the mentorship program. She didn't want to do it. And she was like, "Fine, I'll meet with him." Meets with him. And he's a little charismatic. Maybe for her.
So yeah, that was the other thing about this movie. At least from I think so. Harris Dickinson. Harris Dickinson. I think he's a decent looking guy, more grungy kind of type kind of looking guy. Like he's great structure, like everything like that. I think to make this movie pop just a little bit more, I think you needed somebody a little bit hotter.
Well, I don't even know about hotter because like he's an attractive man, and I think that's the point, is like he was the complete antithesis of her.
Yeah,
he's not as smart, and that was like my thing though, is like she wanted a dummy to tell her what
he
to
wasn't
do.
Dumb though, because he
sounded dumb, and that was
okay. The thing is, this is an automation AI company, and to get into it, you had to be super smart. But the entire movie, this man sounds like he has 3 brain cells working.
It was so weird.
Yes.
And I don't know, like the physical chemistry was there, but
yes.
You could tell that
the banter wasn't.
But the banter wasn't. That's the thing. And that's why I was like, but then again, she wasn't looking for banter. She was looking to be told what to do.
Yes. No, she needed somebody to finally command her.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the very beginning of the movie, her and her husband have sex, and then right after sex, she has to go to watch porn and get herself off.
At the very beginning of the movie.
At the very, very beginning. She has to get herself off. And then not even a spoiler, but her husband's never gotten her off.
Yeah. And she makes that very clear. And also, by the way, the husband is Antonio Banderas, which crazy.
And he wants to fuck.
And he's trying to make love to
Yes.
her. And Antonio Banderas, anytime, any day, I would treat you right. She didn't treat you right.
To be honest, he's aging well.
He aged very. So we were talking about this earlier. I have my affinity for daddies, and like I would take Antonio Banderas over Harris Dickinson any day of the week.
Understandable. He's in good shape.
And God, don't get me started. But no, so I don't know. I do think it was an interesting movie. It was a very thought-provoking movie. I do think it got conversations started about a lot of stuff for straight people, which
I think the big conversation, so kind of going back to like the premise of the movie, she wants somebody to dominate her, and then him and Nicole start to get into this kind of like workplace dynamic, and then start a kind of like dom almost situation. And then the whole time you're kind of like thinking, I think the thought-provoking part is just like, hey, as a couple, have conversations about what do you want to do sexually. I think that's the biggest thing.
Well, and I just think, honestly, open communication in general, because she was not expressing what she needed.
No.
But then again, why did she not feel that she could express that? And she kind of tries to get into that, but at the end of the day, he does shut her out and shut her down. Sorry, spoiler alert. But he does. But then again, if you had had that conversation before you cheated on him, that conversation probably would have gone different. So
then
maybe
you got kids into the mix and stuff like that. So it's messy.
Honestly,
Nicole's messy.
I think that at the end of the day, if you're about to cheat for whatever reason, have like a quick convo with your partner just about what the problem is, about all that, and then go from there. Obviously don't cheat, like that's bad. But if you are partners and you cannot give each other what you need, then maybe it's time to look at splitting up, and splitting up is not always a failure. That's the thing.
Kids make it harder though.
Kids do make it harder.
Yeah.
But we need to stop viewing the end of relationships as failed relationships. I think that needs to end. Relationships run their course. That's a very hot, like, I don't want to say hot take.
I don't think that's a hot take. No, it is a hot take. It is a hot take. Not for me. Yeah. Like, I do agree with you. I do 100% think that when you have kids, though, it makes it way more complicated.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because it's like, hey, me and mommy, the reason why me and mommy broke up is because I'm just not digging her down enough. She's not coming. I'm sorry. So yeah, you're gonna get 2 Christmases though. Like,
I mean, win-win.
Win-win. But no, I think Babygirl, I think it's a good movie. I give it a 6 because I don't think I would ever like rewatch this movie again. Nicole got nominated for an Oscar, not an Oscar, a Golden Globe. I really think she only got it because of her orgasm faces. Like
she did
a good O face.
She made a convincing O face, and then you do see her get on her hands and knees and lick milk out of a bowl.
Yeah, but besides that, I thought it like.
But besides that,
I think anybody could really just do like that role.
I don't know. I think that she added an extra layer to it that made it interesting. If it was anyone else, I probably wouldn't have gone and seen it in theaters.
No, facts. Very funny that she went into a theater, and I was just like, man, I wish her husband was a director, so it would be like an AMC kind of commercial inside of it.
I'm not gonna lie, watching the Nicole Kidman AMC thing and then going straight to her, I was like, guys, it opens with her going, and you're just like. We come to this place for magic.
Here's my hot take. Stop faking, okay? Like, men and women, do not fake. Just be open and talk.
Bro, men faking is crazy.
It's a real thing.
I know it. I'm fully aware.
Yeah.
It's still crazy.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, Babygirl, 6.
Yeah, it's fine. It's horny.
It is horny. It is horny.
But I would not say this is something that like would get you in the mood.
No. Not at all. Yeah, to be honest, I wish it was sexier. I wish it was more dominatrix. Like, I wish it was just something more. Because, like, if I'm going to sit here, I need, like, Nicole to be strapped up, like, whipped, spanked, beat, something. Like, get me something. And
for me, we got so close to a Challenger scene. Like, literally this fucking close.
We were.
Like,
we were very, and I was like,
I was grabbing on his wife's leg because again I was sitting next to her and I was like, is this about to happen? Is every dream I have about to come true? And it didn't.
It didn't. No, it fucking didn't.
It just ended and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I think the ending was kind of
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
But
Like,
it was very realistic.
it is realistic.
Which I don't know. Do I want realism? Never.
No, not at all. But yeah, no, that's Baby Girl. Joe, if you're a stripper, what would your stripper name be?
Ooh. I've thought about drag name a lot. I don't think I've ever thought about stripper name. I think it could still go like Gloria Hole. It was always one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's actually a really good one.
Yeah, that was always my go-to drag name was Gloria Hole. And because,
No, I don't. Actually.
Glory holes. Glory holes.
Oh my god.
America's Next Frontier.
I'm super. I think I'm Chalk the Thunder. Yeah. Let these thighs make you quake, like something like that.
I guess if I had to think if I was like a male stripper, as I am now, I don't know. It'd have to be Harry something.
Harry Hole.
Harry Hole. I mean, yeah. Beach Fuzz.
The reason why I bring up strippers.
So speaking of strippers,
is because I watched a movie over our little break called Anora, which currently right now has the most wins of any movie so far this award season. And when I tell you this movie does not deserve any of these awards, it really doesn't.
Okay, I need everyone to know I haven't seen it yet, so I am not subscribing to this yet, but I can see certain things.
So, okay, first of all, I just want to tell you my experience. I was off. I had nothing to do at work, and I was just like, it was the last day that I was going to be in theaters. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to the movie theaters by myself, which I never do.
Yeah.
So this is the first time maybe second time I've ever been to the movie by myself. And then I realized this is a movie about a stripper, and I was just like, dang, am I that creepy guy? Am I that creepy guy that's going to the movie theaters to watch, there's probably going to be some naked women in there.
Were you alone in the theater?
That's the worst part.
No. So here's the thing. The worst is when you're alone and then you see one.
No, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. I was chilling. Like, I literally brought my laptop to, like, do some work or something like that. I was just like, I'm just watching a movie and whatever. And then this other guy comes in and I was just like, bro, and he's one row in front of me.
What?
And I'm just and I'm just like,
he must have seen you there and he's like, I'm going to sit right in front of
one
him.
row, 3 seats over. And I was just like, bro, okay. I'm like, all right, man, I guess we're watching this. And
somebody was cruising.
And then the literally first scene is titties. And so I was just like, God dang it, man. I was like, statistically, one of us is the creep. Yeah. I know I'm not the creep. So
just two perverts trying to keep their heads forward. Just keep it eyes on the titty. Don't look at each other. God. No eye contact.
No. So Anora is a movie about a stripper. She's at a strip club. She's dancing, and then this random Russian guy comes in. He comes in. They have a good time. He seems like a teenager, like he's freshly 18, but I guess he's like 21, 22.
Yeah.
And so she dances on him, stuff like that, because he asked for some girl who speaks Russian. And so, she has Russian like blood in her and she speaks Russian. And so they kind of hit it off and everything like that. Well, then I guess she's not just a stripper. She's also a sex worker. And so dude's like, hey, come over to my house. Obviously, this man is rich as hell, like has huge house, huge everything. And then he starts paying her for sex. They start having sex. And then it just, when I tell you, it's basically like Pretty Woman. Where it's like, hey, will you just be my girlfriend for like, the next 2 weeks? I'll pay you.
Sounds like the dream.
Yeah. I know, right?
Getting dicked down by a Russian dude in a penthouse and getting paid to do it. God, Anyone who talks bad about sex workers, you're just jealous.
Like facts, like facts.
Like you wish you had that pussy to earn that money.
And so basically they party the whole time. They're going crazy and stuff. They're doing drugs. Hey, fuck it, let's go to Vegas. They go to Vegas and then they get married. In Vegas.
No, see, this is where the party's going too far.
And then the turning point of the movie. So, like, to be honest, that's like the first half of the movie, which I thought was like, okay, where I'm like, all right, cool. This is gonna, you know, be maybe a love story or something like that. Because that's what all the promo is that this is a love story. The trailer, love story. The poster, love story.
Yes.
And then they come back, and all of a sudden, ring. The person who's supposed to watch over him, because again, they rich family, daddy's rich. Daddy's like billionaire rich.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, what the hell just happened? Like, what's going on with my kid? And he's like, oh shit, I think they went to Vegas. What happened to Vegas? Finds out that he married, who the hell did he marry? He married a fucking stripper. What? You fucking get your ass down there right now. You annul that fucking marriage right this second. And so basically from that point on, two guys, don't know this guy's name. I'm not going to pronounce his name because it's Russian. I'm going to butcher it. But he's supposed to be like a Russian comedian.
Like Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah. So like these two dudes come in and they are funny. Like he's funny. Like it actually adds like some comedic relief into the movie, which I kind of enjoyed. But homeboy takes off and leaves. Like he's running away. He doesn't want to get caught. And so then it's the girl, the stripper, and like 3 bodyguards. And then basically the rest of the movie is we got to find the boy.
Huh.
Because we're going to try to annul this marriage.
How far into the movie did they get before this happened? Like, is this the majority of the movie is them trying to find him?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. And so like I would say that's probably like that's the halfway point.
Yeah, okay.
And so like basically, at least for me, it is literally Pretty Woman if it was realistic.
Are you telling me Pretty Woman isn't realistic?
Yeah, no, not at fucking all.
Are you telling me Richard Gere isn't going to sweep me away at some point if I start selling it on Beverly Hills Boulevard?
Every stripper's dream. Like legit every stripper's dream.
I don't know. I saw him in The Agency really recently, and I still would. I like me some Richard Gere, but again, I have a daddy issue.
Yes. And so like not going to spoil the end, but again, if Pretty Woman was realistic, that's what happened. Especially when when the main guy is only like 20 something. So, and it's daddy's money, not his money.
Yeah.
So I think Mickey Madison, who's the main character, I think she did an amazing job. I do think she deserves a nod. Don't think she's like best actress of the year. But I do think she did a great job. I felt realistic in that aspect. Parts of it was funny and everything like that. I just don't know the hype about that. Like that's my biggest thing. I think I give it a 6 because I think it's a good movie. Wouldn't ever see it again though.
So I think the hype is surrounding, like, we've seen strippers in movies. We've seen a lot of things. And I think this is one of the most honest and earnest storytelling. Again, I haven't seen the movie, but what I've seen the press surrounding it, the first thing I ever heard about this movie was them inviting a bunch of strippers in to view the movie, and they all did like a standing ovation, but with their like pleasers on. There's like really high heels, and they're all like clicking their heels together.
Oh my god!
And so like I think the hype is surrounding like giving strippers and sex workers an actual platform and treating them like people.
No, because that's what the director's like job, like his focus was just to make sure that like, hey, I want to make sure that sex workers are portrayed in like a better light than like what most people think. Like literally at one point, like in the movie, they corrected, hey, like don't call me a prostitute. Like, don't call me this, or like, hey, you should be. And so like saying actually like things of like pushing forward like sex workers. Just again, everything that happened in the movie, like you easily expect to happen.
If you ever want to watch something about a really good stripper show, I don't know if it's necessarily good in that sense. P-Valley is an amazing show.
I've heard nothing but good things about P-Valley.
Love P-Valley. I'm still praying that there's going to be another season, but
yeah,
that's not happening. But I think that's where all this hype is coming from. I think that's where it's like actually treating sex workers like people for the first time in media.
Yes, instead of just the dumb bitch that like the one powerful dude fucked, and then like you interrogate her from some bull. Like that's literally what all prostitutes or sex workers were in TV before.
Just terrorized.
Yes,
like just actively terrorized by white men.
Yes,
and I mean, this isn't like she's still getting terrorized by white men, but it feels like she has a voice in this scenario.
Yes, she definitely has She has a voice until she doesn't have a voice anymore. Yeah. And that's when I felt like reality hit. And it's just like, hey, no, these people are billionaires and you're just a stripper. And so like I can buy your entire club if I really wanted to. I can like it's like you make stripper money, like you make good money, and then you make real money, and you're like, you don't compete with us.
No. And so I think that's where it's coming from. And and you know, the people voting on this, they probably have a lot of thoughts about strippers.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a good movie. Like, don't get me wrong. I wasn't bored or anything like that. I just wish more. Yeah. I just wish more would happen. Something crazy. No, there really wasn't like a big twist or anything like that. It was more just like I saw everything coming because I have my head on straight and I understand reality. Like, but I definitely think it's a good watch. Don't go to the theater by yourself if you're a man, because then it looks creepy.
Don't go see stripper movies by yourself.
Yeah, straight.
That's like going to the strip club by yourself.
I don't know which one's worse, to be honest. I think going to a stripper movie by yourself,
yes, I think
is worse than going to a strip club by yourself.
At least we know why you're at the strip club. Why are you at the AMC on a Tuesday afternoon?
Bro, don't stop outing me like that.
I do work across the street from a strip club, and it is crazy seeing who's.
Oh, there is a strip club right across.
Bazookas, girl. Shout out if you want to sponsor. But
that's crazy.
But like seeing who goes in at
Midday.
what times. All times of the day. There's just a litany of old men going in there by themselves.
Like unless you got like, it's different in Atlanta because they actually have good food, and like it's actually food, and people act, there's actually a real culture of like, no, this is a food stop. Like you don't follow NBA, but during COVID, this one dude, like they're all in a bubble, like to do the playoffs.
Yes.
You're not supposed to leave. One dude left.
Yeah.
Go to Atlanta because he had a funeral, and then he went to the strip club, but he went on a podcast. He's like, bro, no, like if you don't understand, I literally went for wings. Like I'm not here for like, ass and titties and everything. Like I just wanted wings. Wanted some food before I got to go back to the bubble.
And that's what's crazy these days is why is strip club food less expensive than fucking McDonald's?
That is wild.
And it's better.
And I get titties in front of me?
Like what? I will say.
Support women business?
I don't even know. See, I've been to like male reviews and like stuff like that, but I've never been to like.
You never been to a woman strip club?
No.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it's just never come up. But no, just like but that's the thing at gay bars. There's always like a go-go boy going. There's always go-go boys going, and that's what's interesting about like queer culture.
None of your lesbian friends?
Most lesbians don't. Here's the thing. A lot of lesbians I know don't feel comfortable going to a strip club where they are surrounded by men who are acting like that, and then being a woman enjoying it next to a man who's enjoying it is, I don't know. It just, there's been conversations, but it just hasn't come up. And also like Kansas City strip clubs.
No.
Yeah, no. I've knew the girls in college who worked at them, and I wouldn't go.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
You wanna go down to the fantasy ranch?
If you're in Missouri, do not go to the strip club. You're down bad.
I knew people who would go out of their way to go to the fantasy ranch because Warrensburg, it's right outside there, and I never went. It never really enticed me. I did. Yeah, no.
There's a strip club like probably like 5 minutes away from here, and drove by it it's changed its name to, like, different owners like million times. I never wanted to go, and randomly I had to drive a drunk guy home, and he was just like, take me to the club, because he lived literally like 2 blocks down. I was like, no. And he was just like, hey, I'll fucking give you $100. And I'm like, I got nothing else to do, so like, why not?
Did you have to like go in with him?
Yeah, I went in with him.
Okay.
And again, like, I'm like 23, 24. And these guys are like, one guy that we were with is like 40, like late 40s. He was the creepy guy. He was blackout drunk though. And then like the one girl was talking to me, and I was just like, okay. And she was just had the conversation, had to get on sex, and she straight up was like, yeah, I don't like to have sex with condoms. And I was just like, okay, good for you. I was like, but I was like,
don't worry, I could smell it.
I was like, you're on birth control or anything, right? And she's like, no. And I was like, what?
That is a Raytown stripper for you.
She straight up was like, I like the fear of getting pregnant. That turns me on.
It's kind of like Nicole Kidman and Babygirl. like
there has to be real stakes.
Yeah, that was her whole thing. Is she needed the high stakes. She needed it to be salacious.
Yes,
that's fucked. But also exactly what I would expect from her.
Exactly what you expect from a small
town stripper.
Yes, no. So yeah, after that, I was just like, yeah, strippers just don't do anything for me. So.
And see, male strippers are always interesting because they will literally do anything for $1. They do not care.
Yeah.
And they're cheaper too. Male strippers are cheaper.
Hey, what you doing on my wife's batch?
That was crazy for $20.
For $20.
For $20, that was crazy. And he wished me happy birthday 3 months later on Instagram.
Hey, you know what? You're an impressionable guy.
That $20 stretched far.
You did. You got in the bank for your buck. Literally. But yeah, Anora. All right movie. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, no. Don't get the hype. Do not get the hype. I can't take you seriously, Joe.
And why would you?
Why would I? Okay, I have a question. Would you join the Squid Games? The money turns out to only be like, I think like 100 mil.
Only 100 mil?
Yeah, let's just say 100 mil. 100 mil.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of things I'm willing to do for $100. Like,
would you risk your life for 100 mil?
Life for 100 mil? I probably would. I'm not gonna lie, because if I don't get the 100 mil, what's the worst that happens? I die.
See, you're not down bad though, where it's just like, yeah, fuck my life though.
Not yet, but
we're getting there.
But like if a man came up to me with an envelope and he's like, let's play a game, yeah, I'd let you slap me for money.
Oh my god!
Just don't leave a mark.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about Squid Games 2. That's gonna be the only TV show we're talking about this year. This episode.
This year.
The whole year.
The only show we're gonna talk about this year.
Deep dive on Squid Games.
It's just these 7 episodes.
First of all, if you don't want to know everything that happens, quick summary before we get into like a little spoiler territory. Basically, the main guy, player 457,
yeah,
457. He has his money, but his entire purpose is like, I want to get back at these people that started these games. I want to end all these games that are still happening. So he spends the next 3 years trying to find the guy that initiated him. He's trying to find him so he gets back, so he can prevent him from doing that and stop the games. After 3 years, dude finally turns up. And what happens is he gets invited back into the games. and he thinks, oh, I have a tracker and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be able to send all the police. And the police guy, he's the one tracking him. Well,
yeah, and they end up partnering
Yes.
up because he is also looking for this island where he thinks his brother is.
exactly. But once we get to the island, tracker's gone. They can't find the island.
That shit was crazy.
And he's back in the games. And so, for the rest of the season, you're just like, how's he going to make it? What's his goals? What's his plotting? And I liked it. Did you like it?
I liked it. It did feel like it rehashed a lot of similar things that happened in the first one. Those because those first few episodes, they were a little, to be honest, we just
Slow.
It took a long time to get
You
there.
had to develop. You had to
Yes.
develop something. I thought the ending of the first one when they're getting tortured. Loved that scene though. I think what happened in the first 2 episodes is setting up how he gets back into the
Yes.
games, which were slow. I think
But they were necessary.
the 2 endings of those episodes though were very nice.
Yes.
But like you said, they're very necessary. You had to establish that. But
once we got in there, I felt like it got a little repetitive, but then it didn't.
yes.
And so that's where it started shaking up a little. And I did enjoy that they were doing different games, different scenarios where you're working against each other, where you're working for
Yeah.
each other and teams, and really seeing how they teamed up. I will say that they did bring in just an interesting cast of characters and how they played everything out, and just how truly you could die at any moment in this game. And he's trying to help them, because even with red light, green light, and they're
Yeah.
going, he's like, guys, you have to listen to me, and they're just not getting it.
And before we get into spoiler territory, what'd you rate it this season?
I would give it a 6.57. I don't know if I would go back and rewatch it. It was good, but it didn't take my breath away or change the game for me.
I give it a solid 7. Same every reason you just said. The reason why I give it that 7 is because the ending makes it where here's the problem with this episode, and we're not spoiling anything. This season didn't feel complete.
No.
And that's the biggest problem,
Yeah.
I think, with this season. We set this entire thing up just to cut halfway. I think season 3, or at least the second part of this, is supposed to come out this summer.
Yeah.
But I thought for the parts that were there I was captivated enough. The ending pissed me off.
Honestly, I think the only reason that happened, because I'm pretty sure they shot them concurrently.
No, they did. Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure the only reason they did that was to make people stick around until July with their streaming services.
Because money.
That's literally the only reason. And they didn't finish the narrative story because it cuts off in the middle of the final act, basically. There's the big reveal and the oh no, and
Yeah.
we're all danger and scared.
So let's actually get into spoilers, okay? This is spoilers if you have not seen Squid Games. First, want to say the new games. What do you think about the new games?
I liked them. I found them interesting, and in a way that it forced them to work together a lot.
Yes,
And-
I think that was the biggest difference between this season and last season.
And yeah, because last season it was a lot of individual things. It's you go first, you go second, those kinds of things. But this one, it was almost all team challenges.
Yeah, I think the going around the circle, I thought that was okay. I did like the whole point of bro could not hit the freaking stone for any chance. Bro, I'm killing a person right next to me, man.
Well, and that's the thing. It's always interesting because I'm sitting there and they have the stone. I'm I had to be what the fuck is that game? And so I am very interested. So I want to see more about so there's a whole storyline with that one woman who works for the Squid Games. Like she's like in it. I want to see what's going on there.
Yes.
And then her baby daddy from North Korea. So the spoiler all is there's this woman. She's from North Korea. She makes it across the demilitarized zone and like gets into South Korea, ends up being free, all that fun stuff, but is having a hard life. Her husband / baby daddy and child were left back in North Korea, and she's missing her child and all this stuff and all that, and she's like, don't know what's going on. And then she like hates her job, hates her life, ends up taking a job at the Squid Games to kill these people.
Bro, that little girl almost like
that was so sad.
That was very sad.
I was just like, don't get me started.
And then seeing dad in the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
then he dies.
And that's what I was getting fucked up about. Is like then he goes into the games and she's like literally out here with her scope ready to shoot these people. Sees her baby daddy from North Korea.
No, that's not her baby daddy.
I'm pretty sure it was.
No, because he saw that was the kid from the park. That was the dad from the park with the kid that went into the ambulance, and the kid had to go to the hospital. And then the dad was like, I'll do anything, I'll pay whatever to be able to pay for this child, because the child reminded her of her own child that's in North Korea.
See, I thought it was the baby. I don't know why I thought it was the baby daddy, and that's why she was freaking out, because that would have been a better story. But it's also a blink if you'll miss it. That's the other thing I'm not really like. This season is kind of, it felt rushed.
There was a lot of plots in this one. And there's three plots. And like you said, I felt like the main plot was fine. The other two felt rushed or felt not enough for a whole fucking season. Again, would have been fine if you just didn't cut that shit halfway through. Like, I hated the ending. I really did.
I did too.
I thought that it was a great, the rebellion. I thought that was so great. Cool. Fuck that one Marine dude that went back to ammo and just stayed. Fuck you. No, fuck you piece of shit. Oh my god, that would, if I died because of him.
And that trans woman goes Jason Bourne on everyone's ass.
Bro, she
was killing. She was popping them left and right.
She came back and, hey, mom was right though. Hey, no, just stay. Just stay. Just throw the gun somewhere. Just stay your ass here. And then I'm not gonna lie though, the death of his friend didn't really hit that well. I don't think it hit like it was supposed to.
Well, because I forgot he had a friend. Like they reintroduced him. I was like, he was only in the first episode of season 1.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize that they had this connection.
He tried to keep hashing out hey, I'm sorry, I could blah 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 blah, and then he dies.
And I was just like, yeah, I totally saw this coming.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna kill the main guy.
I did like the front man though, being having number 1, which was the creator's number. Being the front man and then actually playing these games, and then literally at one point he's like, fuck. Like when he dropped the fucking the hacky sack, and he was like, no, get your fucking foot there. I thought the front man was great, and of course that dude's gonna turn. Of course. But I think the whole thing that I love the fact that the front man's trying to prove to him that this is necessary.
Yes.
And also all these people are okay with this. These people want this. These people are fine with this. But also, I don't view you as you're trash to me. You're not a real person. And I think that we need to get rid of some of this trash to make a better society. And at the very end, when he's like, hey, you know what? It's okay if some of these people die as long as we get it. And he's like, you fucking proved my point.
Yep.
And that's all I fucking want.
Which kind of went far out of his way to prove that fucking point.
Very far out of his way.
He really was like, okay. But then again, he is the operator of a multi-billion-dollar operation that murders hundreds of people in mass. So he had the time.
Yeah. No, so I did like the front man's character.
Yes.
I wish we kind of got we got a little bit of the backstory with his brother. How
a little bit, but I was like, okay, because The brother's spending the whole time trying to find this island. And I'm like, oh my God.
The brother plot was just,
it was too drawn out.
It was drawn out. It was boring. It was like, oh, at the very end, you know that the boat,
fisherman,
like he's got paid.
In on it.
Yeah, no, I don't. Like, fuck that. Like, I really don't care.
That also would piss me off because, like, he's been doing this
3 years.
3 years, and this dude has just been driving him around, and it turns out he's in on it the whole time. Like, I'd be pissed.
Yes. So I thought that plot kind of, like, his whole brother, like, but I'm glad that we got, like, the point of, like, hey, this 5 years since his wife died. He hasn't been back, and probably at least, you know, theorists and people, the front men enter the games because he couldn't pay for his wife's all this stuff, and by the time he got out, his wife was already dead. So kind of like connecting those dots of like understanding him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I would be so fine with, like, again, you could have drawn this out just a little bit more, a couple more episodes, a flashback of what's going on in his life or stuff like that. Almost like I would have been fine with like more of a kind of Lost kind of like type. Because you remember, like, in Lost, like the beginning of each episode, we like kind of explored the past of like certain of each character. I would be fine with that kind of aspect to like understand, like, where did Thanos come from? Like, where did any of these girls who die come from? Like let's where did this trans person come from?
Well,
like,
and because I feel like they in the first season they did that a little bit.
Yeah, they did it a lot more.
But this season it was just like a very rush. It's like, I'm a former military person and now I'm trans and everyone hates me and I want to move to Thailand. Or that
Marine. Oh, Marine. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, no,
I am a Marine.
I felt like I was way more invested in the characters besides the main one and the first season than this season.
Yes.
This season, I don't feel really invested in anybody.
It just felt so rushed. That part felt so rushed and everything else felt...
Fuck the son. Fuck the son. Son left his mom to die. Multiple, like, not just once, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy. But then she also told him to. But the fact that they both stayed, I don't get it. How did you feel about the voting?
Okay,
and
so
that change?
So I think, so I had to remind my wife about how she was like, "Did this wouldn't happen in the first?" And I was like, "No, in the first season, they had the opportunity. They play red light, green light, and then instantly we're like, we're done. We're not doing this anymore." And they all voted to not do this. But then, once they found out their hardships in life and stuff like that, they're like, I don't have anything. Every single person came back, especially when you go through that fucking trauma-ass experience. Yeah. But this time, I kind of like the aspect of, like, one more round. Like, because you got people who are just like, fuck it. Like, you know what? Damn, I survived this first part. If I just survive one more round, maybe I get a little bit out more of my debt, because I think that was the biggest thing. It's like the harsh realities of like you understanding that, hey, if I go back home, life still sucks for me. Like, yeah, I survived,
and I just went through all of that just for one of my credit cards to be paid off.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Hey, guess what? I can bet on myself. I think if we go a few more rounds, I'm not trying to be last. Because again, we'll all be dead by then. But like, if we just go a few more rounds.
Now the real question is, we have a version in real life. Would you play Mr. Beast games?
Yeah. Well, if there's no death, fuck yeah, I'm playing every single kind of game.
Can you prove there's no death in those?
Oh,
because everyone's acting like people are dying.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll do the Beast games. Netflix did their Squid Games, the reality show.
I actually did like that.
I actually did like that show too. I would easily do these challenges, because also, as long as it's not like they're all just like kid games.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like, okay, I have to bench press fucking 500 pounds or something like that's stupid.
Yeah.
If it's not a challenge, that's just physical ability.
Exactly. And so like I would easily do this. Now, would I put my life on the line for this? No, my life's too good. Like my life is too good for me to risk my life.
Well, that must be nice.
Yeah. I mean, my life is not like amazing or anything, but it's not worth dying over for, a couple $100 million. Like,
you got to risk it to get the biscuit, babe.
You know what? Is the biscuit worth it?
If it's $100 million.
But then 456 other people have to die?
I didn't kill them.
But did you survive?
That doesn't mean I killed them.
Like, just imagine going through like 5 rounds and then you're dead.
I mean, you wouldn't care.
I would be pissed.
You'd be dead.
I would be so. Remember, like the fucking licking one. Oh my fucking god. Or
see, that's the one stipulation. I need this to be American games, like hopscotch or something like that. Like these games that they're playing over there, I don't know when they finally were like, and this is the Squid Game, and I'm like, wait, there's an actual Squid Game.
Yeah, no, I would love. So I think the problem with this season also is the games. We did Red Light, Green Light, which again I think is iconic. Mm-hmm. But then the next couple of games, I thought Going in the Circle was but I loved the find groups of this.
The merry-go-round.
Well, I love that.
Well, that's like Ships and Sailors.
Yes.
Like, and so when I was in school, I was the one who led the school in Ships and Sailors whenever we do pep rallies and all that stuff. So yeah, no, I felt
great. And then the lights flashing and everything like that. Him having to kill somebody in the actual room. I was like, no, this one's the fucking intense one.
No, that was crazy. And then also when like they only had like 2 people in a room, but one of like it was supposed to you have to find 3 people, and 2 of them were alive, but one of them was dead, and they're like, let's just hope they don't notice, and they just stick the gun in him, and you're like,
yeah, no. So I think this season would have benefited more of like, let's explore a lot more into the girl, and her backstory of being one of the workers. Don't care about the boat. Literally, fine for that for episode 1. Didn't care for the rest of it.
I need that storyline to like, I need the brother to find his brother, and then like it just like him be there. I need them to find the island, and him be a part of it. I'm so tired of them looking for the island.
Yes, but I think the rebellion at the end, great fucking job. Love the turn, him finally turning as the front man. But it's just like abrupt ending and like
cliffhanger.
Hey, like
I'm so tired of the Netflix cliffhanger. It's getting even in like episodes.
Not even a great cliffhanger, you know?
No, but even in like episodes of TV shows where I literally have to watch the first episode of the next TV show to actually finish and go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because like it's like, okay, and here we're gonna like determine who gets kicked off the island next episode. And then the first 10 episodes, I need episodes of TV shows to have a beginning, middle, and end.
But how they're going to bring you back to next week?
I'm going to come back and watch it. I'm already watching. I'm going to cut. Like, don't treat me like a child.
Yes. No, but let's be honest. You got to treat Americans like children.
And I hate it. Guys, just can you please be happy with a narrative story and you don't need a cliffhanger to keep going? Grow up.
Please grow up. So tell us what you guys think about Squid Games 2. I'm definitely way more excited for the finale because this is supposed to be it.
Well, I heard there was like talks to like expand like a Squid Games USA.
Yeah. They're gonna do spinoffs.
Yes.
But this is the end of the main guy's story.
Yes. But I can't wait for Squid Games USA. I want to see whatever the fuck that is. Like, is it gonna be like down by the banks of the hanky panky? Like, are we gonna be playing those games? And you go, Ia Papa, Ia Papa, Oh Papa, bang.
But to be honest, I actually love the Korean aspect of like seeing their different cultures. So like I would be fine with like a Chinese or Japanese.
I want all
like,
countries. I want a German one. I want an Italian one.
Like any African countries. To be honest, I think the best next step would do something in South America. I think that would be.
I was gonna say Russia.
I mean,
or like Russia, Ukraine. That could be a little.
They're just doing. Hey, I'm not gonna lie though. The scene of the root, like, I was kind of bored in episode 1.
Yeah.
But then the Russian roulette game, I got hooked into it. Because like we started the first episode and it was like kind of late at night and I was just like, all right, like we can either go to bed or just watch this. And then at first I was like, okay, I'm thinking about bed. And then the second I was like, oh no, we can watch. Because like I binged watched those 7 episodes, got done. I think we watched like the first 3 episodes that night, and then watched the other 4 the next morning.
Me and my sister watched them in a day.
Yeah, no.
And then watched the ending of Yellowstone in a day.
Yeah, no. It's like
watched a lot of TV.
I got hooked. I like. Don't get me wrong. I did get hooked.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't say like.
No, it just didn't end.
No, you just ended on some bullshit.
I don't want to say the ending was bad. It didn't end. Like it cut off in the middle, and we were just left to flounder, I guess.
Yeah, no. When I think of a season, I want complete seasons. I want I'm okay with episodes not having an end and you have to go to the next one, but god damn it, there better be another episode. And not having another episode for this is kind of bullshit.
And I think that's what pisses me off is like, I would understand it even more if it was like 2A, 2B, and then season 3, but that's not what they're doing.
No.
It's 2 is only 7 episodes, and then, God, is 3 only going to be 7 episodes? It better fucking not be.
I bet you it'd be less.
It needs to be at least
I bet
10.
you be 6.
It's just
I bet you it's 6.
It's just a movie.
It's just a movie.
That's what they did to Sense8. Don't get me don't
fucking go crazy.
Don't piss me off. That's what they did to Sense8. I love Sense8, and that's exactly
Sense8.
what they fucking did, isn't it?
Bro, that's a throwback, to be honest.
That was prime Netflix.
Yes.
That was like Netflix when Orange is the New Black, Sense8, like when
I haven't thought of Sense8 since you just brought that up. Like,
think
Jesus.
about Sense8 every time I'm alone in bed.
God. Just imagine you had all those other people that just.
I am imagining it. I imagine it every night.
All right, so tell us what you guys think about Squid Games. Do you think the ending was crazy? Like, what did you like this season?
I really haven't heard people say shit about it.
It's not getting as much, but Netflix said it's like the number one thing.
Good or bad. Like, that's what I'm saying.
The only thing I've heard is just everybody hates the ending. Like, hate it that it stopped right there. I think everybody hated that.
Yeah.
So fuck you, money grabbing on Netflix. But
can't wait for more.
Cannot wait for more. But that's gonna be the end of our show. We got a long one today, so
yeah, I know. We didn't shut the fuck up.
I know. But I'm Jordan,
and I'm Joe,
and this is Double Trouble Features.